2 facts you need to know about branding.
71% of consumers prefer to buy a product or service from brands they actually know. And secondly, 74% of people become loyal to brands through brandable content. Now those are pretty big numbers, but what does this mean to you in terms of personal branding?
It means basically that you need to take branding very, very seriously.
And sponsoring today's video is a long-term friend of this channel, and that is the awesome learning community Skillshare. Now Skillshare is an online learning community where you can pick up new skills and implement them in impacting ways. To learn how you can get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare, stick around to the end of today's video. There is a reason why Amazon pretty much has a total dominance over its markets, and why I'm on the cusp of reaching 1 million subscribers here on YouTube. It's marketing and branding.
Let's actually dispel a myth about branding because nobody likes being lied to.
Your personal branding is not your logo design. This is a major misconception. For example, you might notice I don't use my logo across my YouTube channel. I simply have my profile picture. Branding is so much more than your logo, although the logo is one small part of a brand. So if that's the case, how do people recognize my content when they're searching and scrolling through endless amounts of videos on YouTube?
It's something that improves brand recognition by up to 80%, and that is color.
Different colors impact people differently. Using certain colors on a logo, product, ad, or web page can improve a brand's recognition by as much as 80%, according to data. The use of stark color can form a shortcut to instantly give people an emotional response, and that's if they like it or realize it or not. There is a famous saying in branding that's really important to know. The way the consumer feels towards a brand is more powerful and more important than how they think about the brand. As humans, we are ultimately controlled by our emotions, and brands know this.
When focusing on branding, you first must think about what kind of emotional response or connection that you can have with your target audience.
To demonstrate, let's try a quick little experiment. If I say to you the words love or passion, and if you really think about these words deeply, they will likely create strong emotions within you compared to say a word like roof tiles. That is, unless you've had some kind of horrible roofing accident and now have roofing tile PTSD or something.
Not only will color hopefully kind of conjure up some emotional response in your audience, but also if used uniformly, it can help to make a memory loop and help unify your brand together.
It's no coincidence that I use bright oranges and yellows on my thumbnails and YouTube branding. Again, going back to the act of scrolling through YouTube, my thumbnails stand out and are easily recognizable as my own. And in fact, I've done experiments where I've changed the main color of my thumbnails to blue or purple, and the video performs worse than if I had gone with yellow or orange. So first, think about what sort of emotion you want to evoke with your personal branding. Is it confidence? Is it a sense of energy and change? Is it perhaps shocking and dangerous? When you know what sort of emotion you want to evoke, then you can land on 1 to 3 different colors in accordance to color psychology. Often brands will have one strong base color, like Coca-Cola's red, and then one accent color and one neutral color. For Coca-Cola, this is also black and white.
A great book about this is Color Psychology and Color Therapy by Faber Byron.
But how do you find out what emotions you should be conjuring up in your target audience?
Of course, that's by knowing who your target audience actually is. But let's look at a very straightforward process when it comes to branding, because I know that's what you guys want to see.
First, concentrate on what your personal brand's focus is. You should never aim to try and please everybody or even try to appeal to a large, wide audience. You need to find your niche and then find a niche within that niche. My brand's focus or message here on YouTube is all about designing your future today. It's about learning key skills that are a little bit above average of the standard designer out there. Apple's brand focus is creating innovative and cutting-edge products, which aligns with their slogan, Think Different.
So I ask you to do this. Have a really long and hard think about what kind of message or focus you want your brand to have so you can connect with that right audience.
You then need to think about your audience in a very, very specific way. Firstly, what do they want from you? When you know that, you then think, why do they want that thing? And then lastly, how will they feel once they get that thing from you?
That does seem pretty simple, but let's look at this in a deeper way.
There's a great example that I recently read about. People don't want a drill bit to put onto their drill. They want the hole that the drill bit's going to make. However, they want that hole because it's going to help them make the wooden shelf for their lounge. Furthermore, they want the satisfaction and sense of accomplishment that finishing a DIY project can actually bring to them, and how that shelf will organize the items on a wall. Even further still, they want to feel the affection or gratitude from their partner because they finished a project around the house.
And as you can see, this goes a lot deeper than just the drill bit. People tend to have webs and layers of consciousness that go far beyond what you might imagine.
Now here's a very important and very powerful aspect of personal branding. Something you will likely go, aha, when you finally hear it. Your aim should be creating some sort of transformation in your audience. By transformation, I mean that they should feel or think differently after interacting with your brand. If they can come away by having a noticeable emotional response, or by having a new idea found in them, then your brand will be so much more memorable to them, which increases the likelihood they will return again later.
Pretty cool, huh? But how does that look in real life?
Check out this brand video for Under Armour. The premise of this video, as seen in the captions, is motivational. It's targeting people who want to have a change in their life. They want to either lose weight or gain muscle, and this brand makes gym workout style clothing. The style of video is stark. It evokes a sense of hustle and work. It uses words that directly talk to the consumer and which comes across as if they understand their position. Yeah, working out is difficult, but it's worth it, and Under Armour gets that.
So after watching the video, the consumer will probably feel something like motivation and drive. Subconsciously, they might feel like Under Armour has got their back, so to speak, and they're even kind of like a workout partner. And that's pretty crazy, I know, but this is how brands use subconscious, deep-level tactics in their processes.
Next, consider how your use of typography and colour will fit into the emotional response you want to give out from your brand. We've already looked at colour, but also the typography you use gives off a certain emotion, and that's due to the psychology of how typography or text appears. And I've talked about this many times on my channel, so I'm not going to go into it too deeply right now. But briefly, uppercase letters are loud and authoritarian, lowercase letters are more personal and friendly, sans serif fonts are modern and cutting edge, serif fonts are traditional, luxurious and important. Now you can study this more, but you want to match the colour and typography of your designs and your brand to the kind of emotional response you want to evoke.
Another strong tool in the branding toolkit is the ability to tell a story. Now as people, as humans, we do love a good story, and data really does back this up.
The most effective personal branding strategy these days is to build a true narrative. Nobody wants to hear you shout about your personal brand on social media, so try and create a story around your brand that your audience can engage with. Now you can do this by having written narratives on websites, social media pages and so on, but also engaging with your audiences directly in video messages on social media. But remember to keep things safe for work and professional.
Another way of telling a story in a brand is to have a central character within that brand, and then you can give that character a goal, introduce some humour and some conflict, and you're onto a winning storyline.
Check out this brand Compare the Market. They use animations to create an animated character called Alexander. He's a meerkat, and each advertising campaign sees him interact in his world with humour and quick, witty remarks. This story has pretty much become the brand's identity at this point, and it gives people a chance to talk about it, and it's highly memorable because of its humour factor.
So yeah, these are some things to consider when you're thinking about personal branding or just branding in general. It's the who, the why, and then the deeper why, and then of course the how. But guys, remember to be genuine throughout the entire process of branding and marketing your brand. Now you might know that I'm really a big fan of nice, juicy motion graphics. And also you might know that I'm a very busy person with a very tight schedule. But I've actually been using a sponsor of today's video, Skillshare, to improve my motion graphics skills. And to kick off 2022, I decided to take a class on kinetic typography in Adobe After Effects by Phil Ebener. Now you might ask, why did I decide to go with motion graphics? Well, that's simply because I do think that the future of design or graphic design in general
is heavily going to be animated, so I kind of want to pick up those skills moving into the future. With Skillshare, it's actually possible to take each individual lesson in that class whenever you have free time. Your progress is saved as you move through each individual lesson, and also there are some resources in most of the classes to make use of. There are so many different subjects to make use of in Skillshare, and we have things like graphic design, animation, UI, UX design, photography, writing, and so much more. And if you are thinking of being more productive in 2022, then you might want to take a look at this category here. And also you can see that each category is divided up into subcategories as well. So the first 1,000 people who use the link down below or the code Satori Graphics will get a free 1-month trial to Skillshare. So click that link down below and start your journey today. And if you want to learn more about graphic design, just click a video on screen. And until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.